Everything would suggest that the world is shifting towards a new balance and that alliances are being redrawn before our eyes. In a context of economic and diplomatic tensions, an American decision has just shaken the international stage. Donald Trump is said to have announced a spectacular increase in customs duties, raising taxes on several products from India to 25%. This measure, described by many analysts as a genuine economic punishment, would aim to test the resilience of the Indian government and send a strong signal of Washington's determination. Yet far from backing down, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is reportedly determined to stand firm. Observers claim that he refuses any idea of compromise on his country's strategic interests, even in the face of U.S. economic pressure. This stance, seen as firm and calculated, would strengthen his image as a leader ready to defend national sovereignty at all costs. Reports also indicate that Modi has already planned several major diplomatic trips. First, he is expected to visit Japan, a country that has also been hit by a 15% increase in American tariffs. This visit would serve to consolidate bilateral relations and affirm a strategic axis between two nations targeted by Washington's sanctions. Then, on August 31st, he would attend the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in China, a gathering that would bring together several Asian and Eurasian powers for economic and security discussions. But the real surprise comes from recent reports. Russian President Vladimir Putin could also make an official visit to India by the end of August. For many, this trip would represent a highly strategic move, signaling the growing rapprochement between Moscow and New Delhi. Even if some experts believe this is not a direct consequence of U.S. sanctions, the timing would underline an undeniable fact. While Washington multiplies punitive measures across the globe, other nations are responding by strengthening ties and building alternative alliances. This situation would illustrate a dynamic that specialists are watching closely. The world would no longer operate under a single center of power. On the contrary, several poles would emerge, and each diplomatic meeting, each international summit, each trade agreement could shift the balance of power. Relations between India, Russia, China, and Japan, combined with tensions with the United States, would redraw a geopolitical map where influence is earned as much through trade as through military or energy strategy. And it is precisely to follow these developments in real time that staying informed becomes crucial. If you want to keep understanding how these decisions are shaping tomorrow's world, subscribe now and turn on notifications. Behind these official announcements, there would also be coded messages sent to the international community. Putin's visit to India could symbolize implicit support for New Delhi in its economic confrontation with Washington. For his part, Modi's participation in meetings with China and Japan would indicate a willingness to play on several fronts at once, balancing relations between East and West. This multi-alliance approach would strengthen India's position as an essential player in global negotiations. For the United States, this evolution would represent a major challenge. While the Trump administration seeks to impose its economic vision through the force of sanctions and trade barriers, reality would show that such measures could sometimes bring targeted countries closer together instead of isolating them. It's a boomerang effect that more and more diplomats are beginning to acknowledge. In the coming weeks, all eyes will be on New Delhi, where every meeting, every agreement signed, every official photograph could be interpreted as a political signal. Analysts expect discussions to focus not only on trade, but also on sensitive topics such as energy, regional security, and military alliances. Faced with such a shift in the global chessboard, it will be crucial to decipher the gestures, the words, and even the silences of leaders. What happens at the end of August could well be one of the major turning points of the year, capable of influencing the trajectory of international relations for the decade ahead. To make sure you don't miss the next developments, analyses, and breakdowns, subscribe now and stay connected. The world is changing fast, and those who understand these changes today will be better prepared for tomorrow.